Thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Obi Brown, and I lead development at StudyLab. And this presentation is titled "Get Math and Science to 100% Pass in Your School and 95% A's, 90 to 95% A's in your school." This is not so difficult. We have seen it work before, and there is a technology by which things like this happen, which is what I'll take you through. So the question is, how do you improve learning outcomes across all classes in your school and always guarantee top WIAC results with operational efficiency? This is StudyLab, and you can put your school logo here. So your school logo with StudyLab. How do we partner together to get math and sciences to very good scores? All right. So just a little bit about us. We are a part of the Tech Vibes family. And Tech Vibes is located in lots of states around Nigeria. We are into real estate development. Veritex helps with verification of staff and payroll. Creativity Warehouse into design and creativity and printing lovely items. We help government to collect revenue very efficiently. And then StudyLab and Campus Plus are the education products under Tech Vibes. And together, the team behind this have decades worth of experience in instructional design and software engineering. Okay, so let's start with this idea. And this slide talks about the state of Nigerian curriculum with respect to math and sciences. So in math, you have about 465 skills that WIAC will test on. Starts all the way from basic, primary all the way, from senior primary actually to SS3. And in physics, there are about 94 topics. And chemistry, there are about 48 topics. But look at the way the curriculum is designed. So you start from basic school, right? And then competencies increase gradually. And there is this gap. And then you now have, see this jump right here. People are expected to jump, okay? into the senior secondary schools and start the physics and chemistry, and it's a very short time before they have to do the exams. And in this, you have to show WIAC that you have mastered the 94 topics, 48 topics in chemistry. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Unfortunately, teachers just have to keep moving because there's so much to do, so little time to do it, right? And so the question is, how do you then take students across this entire curriculum in a short time and guarantee top level competence, top level learning outcomes that always guarantees great results in exams? So if you think about a school is made up of lots of stakeholders, all right? But here we will focus on three. The first, are students. Students generally ask, how can I solve this problem? So you're done with this topic. It could be simultaneous equations or quadratic equations, inequalities, all kinds of things. I know the way we do it. After that, we go to our textbooks. We solve a few problems, and then we're not able to solve the remaining, because our competence is not quite there yet. So students always want to know, how can I solve this math, physics, or chemistry question? Or, where am I weak? Where am I strong? Right? Remember when I was preparing for JAM, I went through one JAM past question, and I saw that there were some topics that I'd never seen before. That now told me that there are some things we don't know. So it's a general question. And then finally, how do I have access to all my records? Very easily. For a teacher would ask, are my students ready for this exam? Right? Or what topics have they mastered and what topics are they still weak in? It's a general question that teachers ask themselves. Or for those, I'm sure some of us here go for competitions, and there's so many across Nigeria, from the inter-switch competitions to the Olympiads. It's a question we always ask. I don't just want to go and sign register that I've come. I want to go and present students that are good. I want to come back with a medal. I want to come back with a trophy. But how do I do that? Now, for heads of schools, you see, the heads of schools are the ones who interact with the external stakeholders, right? They want to know, number one, are the teachers doing what they should do? Right? Are they taking the students through the curriculum in the best way possible. And this is so important. How do I guarantee results? Great results, so that parents and other stakeholders are pleased. It's one thing to have students come up with nice results, in internal exams. Internal exams, they write their math, they come with a B or a C, and then they go and sit for almighty WAEC, and they don't make it, right? You want to be able to always, say to parents and stakeholders, look, this is where you are. And let me say something, because when it comes to school growth, right, there's no better school growth than parents telling other parents about your school. You could advertise, you could do anything you want to, okay? But school growth is really about parents talking to other parents, and so you want to always maximize this as much as you can. So what is the key? How do you do that? It's a concept we call benchmarking. Benchmarking. Now, we say that educators must benchmark skills against the exam standard. That's one place where a lot of schools find it hard. And here's the idea. When students, as they go through the curriculum, as they go through the classes, at every point in time, once they are done with a learning unit, a topic or whatever, you must benchmark them by the standards set by the exam at every time. But what usually happens is that you undergo a topic in JS 1 or in JS 2, and teachers just assess you based on what they think you can do and move all the students along to the next class, and they just keep moving along until they get to the final classes. Then one teacher now comes and tries to wind everybody, get them ready. No, the best you can do is that you probably get here. But if at this level, right, you say, okay, you're done with number basis. Now we must benchmark you by the level required at JAM or WAEC or any external exam. Then you force the students to now try and do more. But I must confess, it's hard in a school because the drills are so many and there's so little time for teachers. That is why it's only with technology you can do that. So we had a technology platform, an application that was able to, categorize all of these assessment items, questions for the students, and then give it to them to work on until they become good enough. Then that's possible to benchmark. So, can you imagine that you were able to have students do a lot of drills, a lot of problem sets, a lot of practice, and as a teacher, you had access to a graph like this? What do you think you would do? So if this was your class, what do you think you would do?
You pay more attention to algebra.
You pay more attention to algebra, right? Because you can see that the competence is low here.
Very low.
And then after algebra, you probably want to focus on... Exactly. We call this data-driven instructional design. And this says that, look, focus on the places where the students are weak. Give it more time, and you'll see things rise there. Right? This helps teachers to be a lot more efficient, to be a lot, more efficient with their use of time. So many schools, because of how much work there is to do, will end up having extra time for tutorials and practice for students after. You see, if you did that kind of thing, right, you would focus on where students are weak. So we say, if you can tell where students have mastered the skill and where they are at the level of the exam standard, then you can make better decisions. Okay, so this technology can help you, to accomplish. Again, this is very powerful. Look, for all of us that have gone through, education classes, right, and done a little bit of statistics in education, we may have heard of what we call the normal distribution curve. Okay, what the normal distribution curve is it's a curve that shows us how students or how anybody on that test, right, rank, sort of grades between the lowest marks and the highest marks. And the peak tells us where the average is. All right, now here's what happens. So you have the worst students, at the lower sides. You have the best students up here. But most of the class are usually somewhere. So in this class now, you could see that everybody is at sort of a 61 or 62. That's where most people are, okay? But here's what happens. We usually tend to focus on the top. Now, if this stock get all the way to WAEC and they come out with 8 A's, okay, you'd see that, the school would post them on papers, put them on, on Facebook everywhere to show, we had one student have an 8 A's, whereas the bulk of the class is here. But with a graph like this, right, you can now ask yourself, how do I move my students from 61? How do I move the average from 61 to a 65 or to a 70? Because let's say, for instance, that you have a class of 20, okay? Just hypothetically, you had a class of 20. You had 3 students here. You had, say, 2 students here, all right? And then you had 15 here. Now imagine a scenario where you move these 15 students from a 60 to a 70, so that you had 15 students who graduated with great results. Imagine what that does, right, for your sales. Imagine 15 parents talking to other parents about your school. All right? It's much better than having one parent say, it's a good school. Okay, but if you have 15, so you want to always optimize around the average, move everyone forward. And the only way to do that is through an analytic solution like this that is able to benchmark students' skills and help them improve. Okay. Now, the question is, so how does StudyLab work? It's a very simple process. StudyLab categorizes thousands and thousands of questions from the subjects that we offer, okay, across the major publishers, the exam standards, the American math competitions, Cambridge GCSE, WAEC, JAM, standardized assessment items, brings them all together, and then presents them to a student across the topics that they have just learned in class, okay, so that the student attempts it. So the first step is students would solve quality problems, but that's not where it ends. When a student is unable to solve a problem, right, we assume that he has a gap. When we see that gap, the questions now come with explanations. So each question has a video explanation that would help the student.
How many atoms are present in 6.0 grams of magnesium? The atomic mass of magnesium is 24, and Avogadro's constant has been given as 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23 per mole. Now recall from the Avogadro's concept that 1 mole of a substance is equals to 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23 particles. Now these particles can be number of atoms, number of molecules, number of ions, and number of electrons. Recall that 1 mole of a substance is equal to the molar mass of the substance. So we can see that 1 mole of magnesium is equal to 24 grams, which is the molar mass of magnesium. Now, if 1 mole of a substance is 6.02 times 10 raised to the power 23.
All right, let me just pause it here, but you get the idea, right?
It's equal to 24 grams.
You get the idea. So imagine that you are unable to solve a problem. Could be Hooke's law in physics, could be in circle geometry, could be in calculus, anywhere. But that you are unable to solve it doesn't mean that you don't know it, all right? Or that doesn't mean it ends there. Now, can textbooks do this? No. Textbooks can give you feedback, but with StudyLab, we're able to provide the students feedback so that they're able to close their knowledge gaps immediately. They're able to understand why was I able to solve this problem? What's the concept behind it? All right? And then in the explanation, you notice that the teacher would rehash what the concept was, remember what the concept was, and then use that concept to solve the problem. Okay. So at the end of the day, teachers are not able to receive, this analysis about how the students are faring from topic to topic, right? From skill to skill, They may even now know how they are doing across the exam standards. So how have you done generally on WAEC questions? How have you done on JAM questions? How have you done on IGCSE questions? And know exactly, where to help the students. All right. So, in a nutshell, it's so easy. What the schools need to do, all they need to do is to go to the website, StudyLab360.com, create an account for themselves, sign up as a teacher, and then as a school, click the download button so that they can download it for their local school networks. Now, StudyLab works fully offline, and if your school had a locally networked computer lab, all you need to do is to install it on a server, and all the other computers would be able to access it. And of course, you make it sustainable, so you pay for it, you would involve the teachers, you would get them to learn how to use it, you would create accounts for the students, and then you would start from there. So together, all over Nigeria and all over West Africa, we're creating a network, okay, of schools that are able to use the solution to benchmark themselves, benchmark their students. And when you benchmark yourself and your students, you're also able to see how you are doing with respect to your peers. All right? So if you were in a community of, say, Air Force schools or federal schools or Baptist schools, right? You can now say, hey, how is Air Force Makurdi doing, against all the other Air Force schools? Or how is Baptist Jos doing versus all the Baptist schools, and that's it. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's StudyLab. We could just log in as a student, for instance, and see some of the things that we can do with a student account. All right, so like I said, students have access to a study mode where you have all of the questions, all of the topics. So in mathematics, for instance, plane shapes, set theory, whatever it is, across the different classes. And so I could say, for instance, under say set theory, right? You have all the different skills, and then students could just take a set that they're interested in, and then they can now practice and practice and practice. And as students walk through this, all right, the teachers are able to find, see how they're doing. Teachers are also able to create quizzes and publish to the students at any time they want to, and then extract data from that. Also, we work with partners to publish quizzes at a global level. And this just helps, students to keep working, because the more they work, the better they get. The more they work, the better they get. And so you can see that it's not possible. It's very hard, close to impossible for teachers to do all this by themselves. To drill students, assess them, see where the learning gaps are, and then close the learning gaps. It's only technology can do this. And that's what StudyLab does for you. Thanks, guys. Any questions?
The question, this exercises that they go through,
Yeah.
is there like a timing for it, or they just...
Okay, yeah, so this mode I'm in is called the study mode. And in the study mode, it's like your normal practice, like what you do in prep, or when you're studying by yourself, so there's no timing. But in a quiz, if I, as a teacher, publish the quiz to you, it will be timed. Yeah? Also, let me close this. Also, if you wanted to, say, you wanted to practice for an exam, you're necessarily you want to practice for an exam, and you went to the exam mode, and you selected, let's say, JAM Mathematics, for instance, 2011, right? You'll see that it's timed. Yeah, you can see that. So the time starts counting down. And then, like all the others, once you're done, right, and then you hit finish, you can see your report. It tells you how you've done. And then, of course, there is a video explanation for every question. Yeah, that's it.